The fluorescent lights of Gate 27B buzz overhead, casting sterile white across polished floors. Marcus Chen stands at the jetway entrance, boarding pass trembling slightly in his hand. A flight attendant, crisp navy uniform, tight smile, blocks his path with an outstretched arm. Behind him, whispers ripple through the waiting area. Passengers crane their necks. Some pretend to check their phones while watching. Others stare openly. The woman from first class emerges from the jetway. Blonde hair pulled back, pearl necklace catching the light. Her voice carries across the gate area, sharp and certain. "I don't feel safe with him on this plane." Marcus doesn't move. His briefcase hangs from his shoulder. His navy blazer is perfectly pressed. He looks at the gate agent, a young woman whose name tag reads Jennifer, and sees the familiar calculation happening behind her eyes. "Sir, if we could just—" Jennifer begins. "I understand," Marcus says quietly. His voice doesn't shake. He's done this before. Not this exactly, but close enough. The woman in pearls stands 3 feet away, arms crossed. She won't look at him directly. She doesn't have to. Her discomfort has already spoken. Security arrives. 2 officers. They're polite, almost apologetic. "Sir, we need you to come with us." Marcus nods once. He steps aside. The jetway clears. Passengers file past him, some guilty, some curious, most carefully neutral. He watches them disappear into the aircraft that should have been his. As Marcus turns to leave, he pauses at the counter. His hand moves to his briefcase. He pulls out a slim manila folder, places it on Jennifer's desk. She's busy updating the manifest. She doesn't notice. Flight 447 closes its doors. Marcus walks away. 3 hours earlier, Marcus Chen stood in the airport bathroom, adjusting his navy blazer in the mirror. The fabric was expensive, a gift from his wife after his promotion. "You deserve to look the part," she'd said. He's 34, Boston-based, lead engineer at Aerospace Systems. Today isn't routine. Today he's keynoting the National Aerospace Safety Conference in Seattle. His algorithm, 3 years of development, can predict structural failures in aircraft wings before they become catastrophic. The aviation industry called it revolutionary. Marcus called it overdue. His phone sits on the marble counter. His daughter's drawing is his wallpaper. Stick figures of their family standing beside a cartoon airplane. Across the top in purple crayon, "Daddy saves airplanes," a text from his wife appears. "Make us proud." "Love you," Marcus smiles. He texts back a heart emoji. His daughter taught him which ones to use. He earned this moment. Mighty aerospace engineering. Late nights in the lab while classmates partied. Professors who consistently underestimated him then seemed surprised when he outperformed their expectations. He stopped being surprised by their surprise. Aerosafe hired him immediately after graduation. 5 years later, he leads a team of 12 engineers. His algorithm is implemented on over 300 aircraft worldwide. Last year it detected a fatigue crack on a 737 that would have failed over the Atlantic. 17 passengers sent him thank you letters. They'll never know his name. That's how it works. Marcus checks his watch. Boarding starts in 40 minutes. He's flown this route dozens of times. Same airline, same confident stride through security, same laptop bag with the Aerosafe logo. Today feels routine. He collects his belongings and heads toward Gate 27B. The overhead announcements blur together. Flight delays, final boardings. He stops at a coffee stand. Orders black, no sugar. The barista gets his name wrong on the cup. Mark. Close enough, he doesn't correct her. Boarding begins with first class. Marcus approaches the podium. Jennifer scans his boarding pass. "Seat 3A, Mr. Chen, have a great flight." He nods and enters the jetway. The familiar smell of recycled air and jet fuel. He's one of the first to board. The flight attendant greets him with a practiced smile. "Welcome aboard." Marcus finds his seat. 3A window. His briefcase slides into the overhead compartment with a soft thud. He settles in, pulls out his laptop. The keynote presentation needs one final review. Passengers file in. Business travelers, families, a teenager with headphones. The cabin fills with the sound of rolling luggage and quiet conversations. The woman boards last among the first-class passengers. She's older, maybe 50. Designer handbag, that pearl necklace. She pauses at row 3, glances at her boarding pass, then at Marcus. Her expression shifts. Subtle. But Marcus sees it. He's seen it before. She takes seat 3B, settles in without acknowledging him. Her perfume is overwhelming, floral and expensive. Marcus returns to his laptop. He opens his presentation. Title slide, Predictive Failure Analysis, Saving Lives Through Data. The woman shifts in her seat, pulls her bag closer, glances at Marcus sideways, then she presses the call button. The flight attendant appears. "How can I help you?" The woman leans close, whispers, but not quietly enough. "I don't feel comfortable." The attendant's smile falters. "I'm sorry." Something about him. The woman's voice drops, but her gesture toward Marcus is unmistakable. Passengers across the aisle look up. The air in the cabin changes. Marcus closes his laptop slowly. His jaw tightens. He knows what comes next. The flight attendant straightens. "Ma'am, is there a specific concern?" "I just don't feel safe." "Can you move one of us?" The attendant glances at Marcus. Their eyes meet. He sees the apology there. The helplessness. "Let me get the gate agent." Jennifer appears within 60 seconds. She's young, maybe 25. This situation isn't in her training manual. "Sir, could you step into the aisle for a moment?" Marcus doesn't move immediately. "Is there a problem with my ticket?" "No, sir. We just need to resolve a passenger concern." The woman speaks louder now. Loud enough for rows 4, 5, and 6 to hear. "I have a right to feel safe." Marcus looks at her directly. She won't meet his eyes. He could fight this. He could demand explanations. Ask for her specific concerns. Make them say it out loud, but he's tired. And he knows how this ends. Marcus stands, gathers his laptop, his briefcase. "I'll take the next flight." Jennifer's relief is palpable. "We'll get you rebooked immediately, Mr. Chen. I'm very sorry for the inconvenience." The woman says nothing. Neither do most of the passengers. A few look uncomfortable. Most look away. Marcus walks up the jetway. Behind him, boarding resumes. Normal service. The disruption handled. No one asks the woman to explain herself. No one needs to. Marcus sits in a hard plastic chair at gate 27B. The boarding area has emptied. Just him and a janitor pushing a trash cart. The overhead speaker crackles. Flight 447 to Seattle, final boarding. He watches the last passengers disappear. A businessman checking his phone. A mother with a toddler. The woman in pearls. She doesn't look back. Marcus's hands rest on his knees. Steady. Controlled. But inside, his pulse hammers against his ribs. His throat feels tight. He thinks of his daughter's drawing. "Daddy saves airplanes." He thinks of his wife's text. "Make us proud." He thinks of the conference room in Seattle, where in 4 hours he was supposed to present the culmination of 3 years' work. Humiliation doesn't roar. It seeps. It settles in the stomach like cold water. He's had this conversation with himself before. After the department store security guard. After the taxi that wouldn't stop. After the colleague who asked if he was sure he belonged in the executive meeting. His father's voice surfaces in his memory. "Pick your battles, son. Not every fight is yours to win, but silence has a cost." Every time he walks away quietly, some part of him wonders if he's teaching his daughter to accept this too. Marcus pulls out his phone. Opens his messages. Types, "Flight delayed. We'll update soon." He doesn't mention why. The gate agent, Jennifer, stands behind the counter, focused on her computer. She handled the situation. Did her job. Protected the airline from an uncomfortable scene. The intercom crackles again. Flight 447, doors closing. Marcus watches through the window as the jetway pulls back. The aircraft sits on the tarmac, massive and indifferent. Then something shifts in him. Not anger, something colder. More precise. He stands, walks back to the counter. Jennifer looks up, startled. "Mr. Chen, your rebooking is... I need to leave something with you." Marcus reaches into his briefcase, pulls out the manila folder, places it on her desk. She glances at it, confused. "What's this?" "Important," Marcus says quietly. "For the captain." Before takeoff, Jennifer's phone rings. She's distracted. "I'll make sure he gets it." Marcus nods once. Then he turns and walks toward the terminal exit. Behind him, Flight 447's engines begin to spool up. Marcus grew up in Detroit. His father, Robert Chen, worked as an aircraft mechanic at a small regional airline. 40 years of service, hands scarred from tools and metal. A mind that understood machines better than people. Robert taught Marcus two fundamental truths: airplanes don't lie, and people do. Every weekend, Robert brought Marcus to the hangar, showed him how wings flex, how hydraulics respond, how every bolt, every rivet, every wire serves a purpose. "Respect the engineering," Robert would say. "It doesn't care who you are, just whether you're right." At 17, Marcus announced he wanted to study aerospace at MIT. His guidance counselor suggested community college first, just to see if you can handle it. Marcus got in on his first try. Full scholarship. At MIT, he was one of 3 black students in his aerospace cohort. Professors mispronounced his name for 2 years. He corrected them once, then stopped. His grades spoke louder. His thesis advisor initially assigned him to a team studying drone navigation. Marcus requested structural analysis instead. "That's pretty ambitious," the advisor said. "Are you sure you're prepared?" Marcus was prepared. His thesis on predictive failure analysis won the Sikorsky Prize. Aerosafe Systems offered him a position before graduation. 5 years later, he leads their advanced detection division. His algorithm monitors aircraft globally. It's caught 17 critical issues, prevented 4 catastrophic failures, saved hundreds of lives. The airline industry doesn't advertise these saves. Passengers don't want to know how close they came. Marcus keeps the thank you letters in a drawer at home. Proof that his work matters. Proof that he belongs. But today on Flight 447, none of that mattered. A woman looked at him and saw only threat. The gate agents saw a problem to solve. The other passengers saw someone they didn't need to defend. His daughter is 7. She still thinks the world is fair. That hard work equals respect. That her father's brilliance will protect her. Marcus knows better now. He knows she'll face her own Gate 27Bs, her own women in pearls, her own silent witnesses. That's why he left the folder, not for himself. For every passenger on that plane, for his daughter, for Robert, who died believing that good work was enough, for the truth that machines don't care about your fear, only whether you're right. Jennifer finally notices the manila folder. It's been sitting on her desk for 3 minutes, partially covered by boarding passes and gate reports. Something about it, the weight, the stillness, draws her attention. She opens it. Inside, technical schematics, maintenance logs marked with red annotations, structural diagrams of an aircraft wing assembly, and a handwritten note on Aerosafe Systems letterhead. Her hands start to shake. She picks up the phone, dials the cockpit. The line rings twice. "Captain Morrison." His voice is clipped, professional. They're minutes from pushback. "Captain, this is Gate 27B. I need you to hold the flight. We're cleared for pushback, Jennifer." "What's the issue?" "Sir," her voice cracks slightly, "you need to see this. Right now." Silence on the line. Then, "I'm coming out." Captain Morrison appears in the jetway 30 seconds later. Salt and pepper hair. 28 years of flying. He's seen delays, cancellations, drunk passengers, medical emergencies. He's never seen Jennifer look like this. She hands him the folder without speaking. Morrison opens it, scans the first page. His expression hardens. He flips to the maintenance logs, then to the note. The handwriting is precise. Engineer's script. This aircraft is not safe for flight. I flagged this issue Monday through official channels. It was deferred as low priority pending cost-benefit review. The left wing spar shows a hairline fracture at station 147, identified by predictive algorithm aerospace 7. Stress analysis indicates failure probability of 23% under turbulence conditions. I was scheduled to be on this flight. Now I'm not, but 187 people still are. You need to ground this aircraft immediately. Marcus Chen, lead engineer, aerospace systems. Morrison looks at Jennifer. The passenger you removed. Was his name Chen? She checks her computer. Her face goes pale. Marcus Chen, seat 3A. A passenger complained. About what? Jennifer can't say it. She doesn't need to. Morrison's jaw clenches. He turns to the jetway. Ground the plane, now, sir. Get maintenance. Full inspection. Left wing assembly. I want eyes on station 147 before anyone touches that pushback clearance. Jennifer's fingers fly across her keyboard. She keys the radio. Ground crew, hold flight 447, do not push back. To repeat, do not push back. Morrison studies the schematics again. The fracture location, the stress calculations. If this fails at altitude over the Rockies in turbulence, the wing could separate. Catastrophic structural failure. Recovery impossible. He looks toward the terminal. Marcus Chen is gone. Walked away without demanding credit, without making it about what happened to him. Just left the truth and saved 187 lives. Passengers are recalled from the aircraft. The announcement comes through the cabin speakers, calm but firm. Ladies and gentlemen, due to a mechanical issue, we need everyone to deplane immediately. Please gather your belongings and return to the gate. Confusion ripples through the rows, groans, annoyed whispers. People check their watches. Connecting flights, meetings, plans disrupted. The woman in pearls is among the first off. She approaches Jennifer's counter, voice sharp. This is completely unacceptable. I have a spa appointment in Seattle at 3. Jennifer doesn't respond. She's staring across the terminal. Marcus stands near the coffee shop watching. He hasn't left. Something kept him there. Captain Morrison crosses the gate area toward him. The captain's uniform is crisp, his expression unreadable. Other passengers notice. Watch the interaction. Morrison extends his hand. Mr. Chen, Marcus accepts the handshake, firm, brief. I need to ask you some questions about this report. Morrison holds up the manila folder. Put everything you need in there. Marcus's voice is level, professional. The maintenance logs. Where did you get them? I filed the initial safety report Monday. I'm required to monitor all aircraft using our system. Your airline's maintenance team marked it low priority. Morrison's jaw tightens. Low priority. Pending cost-benefit analysis. That's the official language. Behind them, maintenance crews arrive. Rolling toolboxes. Inspection equipment. They disappear into the jetway. Passengers crowd the gate counter, demanding rebookings. The woman in pearls sees Marcus, sees the captain talking to him. Her expression shifts, confusion, then something else. She doesn't approach. Morrison's voice drops. Mr. Chen, you saved 187 lives today. You understand that? Marcus's expression doesn't change. I tried to save them Monday, Captain. Nobody listened. The statement hangs in the air. Morrison has no response. He's been flying for 28 years. He knows how airlines work. Cost versus safety. Bureaucracy versus urgency. What would have happened? Morrison asks quietly. If we'd taken off? Marcus looks toward the window. The aircraft sits on the tarmac. Emergency panels open. Turbulence over the Rockies. The fracture propagates. Wing separation. Unrecoverable. Morrison's face goes pale. But you would have filed a report afterward, Marcus continues. Investigated thoroughly. Implemented new protocols. The usual. It's not cruel. Just factual, Morrison nods slowly. Thank you. For not giving up. Marcus finally looks at him. I didn't do it for gratitude, Captain. I know. Morrison glances at the woman in pearls. She's talking loudly to another gate agent. Still oblivious. What happened to you earlier is between me and her conscience, Marcus says quietly. If she has one. Marcus walks toward the terminal exit. The automatic doors slide open. Outside rain has started, light, steady. Mr. Chen, wait. Jennifer's voice carries across the gate area. He stops. Doesn't turn immediately. She approaches, slightly breathless. Behind her, passengers mill about. The woman in pearls is demanding to speak to a supervisor. Still complaining. Still entitled. The woman who... Jennifer can't finish the sentence. She's asking what happened. Why the flight was grounded. She doesn't understand. Marcus turns slowly. His expression is calm, almost serene. Tell her the truth. What truth? Tell her the man she didn't feel safe around just saved her life. Jennifer's throat tightens. She opens her mouth, closes it. The words won't come. Marcus continues, his voice quiet but clear. Tell her I was supposed to be in seat 3A. Tell her I'm the engineer who flagged that fracture. Tell her that her discomfort removed the one person on that plane who knew it was broken. The silence between them stretches. I'm sorry, Jennifer whispers, for what happened to you. It wasn't right. Marcus nods once. Sorry doesn't fix the plane, Jennifer. Engineering does. He turns and walks through the automatic doors. The rain catches his shoulders. He doesn't hurry. Behind him, the maintenance supervisor emerges from the jetway. His face is ashen. He approaches Captain Morrison, holding a tablet with inspection photos. Captain, you need to see this. Morrison looks at the screen. The fracture is worse than the logs indicated. Much worse. The crack runs 8 inches along the wing spar. Microscopic fissures branch outward. Another 2 hours of stress. Takeoff, climb, turbulence, and the structure would have failed. The tablet shows stress analysis projections. Red zones spreading across the digital model. Failure probability, 67%. Morrison's hands shake. How did we miss this? It was flagged Monday by an external engineer. Our team ran a cost assessment. Scheduled for inspection next month. Next month, Morrison's voice is hollow. The supervisor nods. The engineer who reported it, Marcus Chen, he was on the passenger manifest. Then he was removed. Morrison looks toward the terminal doors. They're empty now. Marcus is gone. On the other side of the gate, the woman in pearls is still talking, still complaining about delays, about inconvenience, about her disrupted schedule. She has no idea that the man she ejected from her row just saved her life. Captain Morrison walks to the gate microphone, keys it on. His voice fills the waiting area. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Captain Morrison. I need your attention. The crowd quiets. Faces turn toward him. This aircraft has been grounded due to a critical structural issue discovered before departure, a fracture in the wing assembly that would have resulted in catastrophic failure. Gasps, murmurs. Someone's phone falls to the floor. This defect was identified and reported to us by one of our passengers. An aerospace engineer. Because of his expertise and his refusal to let this issue be ignored, you are all safe. The woman in pearls has gone very still. That engineer's name is Marcus Chen. Some of you may have seen him earlier. He was removed from this flight due to a passenger complaint. The silence is absolute now. Morrison's eyes find the woman. She knows. Everyone knows. Mr. Chen could have boarded another flight. He could have walked away. Instead, he left documentation that grounded this aircraft and likely saved every life in this terminal. Someone starts clapping. Then another. Then 10 people, 20. The applause builds. The woman in pearls doesn't move. Her face is white. People are staring at her now. She knows they know. Morrison sets down the microphone. He looks at Jennifer. Find him. I don't care how. Find Marcus Chen and bring him back. Marcus sits in his rental car in the parking garage. Level 3, the rain drums on the roof. He hasn't started the engine yet. His phone shows 7 missed calls. His wife, his office, the conference organizers. He'll call them back eventually. Right now he just sits. The steering wheel is cold under his hands. The garage smells like exhaust and concrete. Outside the windshield, other cars come and go. People returning to their lives. Normal days. Normal problems. Marcus thinks about the woman in pearls. Wonders if she'll ever know. Probably not. The airline will handle it quietly. Maintenance issue. Technical delay. Passengers rebooked with apology vouchers. No one will tell her that her fear almost killed her. He pulls out his phone. Opens the photo of his daughter's drawing. Daddy saves airplanes. He wonders what he'll tell her about today. If he'll tell her at all. His father's voice surfaces again. You can't fix people, son. You can only fix machines. Marcus believed that once. He's not sure anymore. A text notification appears. His wife, are you okay? Why aren't you answering? He types, I'm fine. Missed the flight. We'll explain later. The truth feels too heavy for a text message. Another notification. Unknown number. Mr. Chen, this is Jennifer from Gate 27B. Captain Morrison needs to speak with you urgently. Please call. Marcus stares at the message. Deletes it. He's done enough. The plane is grounded. The passengers are safe. What else is there to say? He reaches for the ignition. Then he stops. His briefcase sits in the passenger seat. Inside, another copy of his keynote presentation. 3 years of work. Algorithms that save lives. Research that proves he belongs in rooms where people don't expect him. His father spent 40 years in hangars, fixing planes, saving lives. Never got a thank you. Never got recognized. Died believing that good work was its own reward. Marcus always thought that was enough too. But maybe silence has a cost he can't afford to pay anymore. He picks up his phone, looks at Jennifer's message. His thumb hovers over the call button. Marcus calls the number. It rings twice, Mr. Chen. Jennifer's voice is rushed, urgent. Thank you for calling back. Captain Morrison needs to speak with you. Can you return to the terminal? Why, he needs to acknowledge what you did. Publicly, Marcus is silent. Please, Jennifer adds. Everyone should know. Everyone should know that I was removed from a flight for being black. The question hangs heavy. Jennifer doesn't answer immediately. Everyone should know you saved their lives, she says finally, despite what happened to you. Marcus looks at the parking garage ceiling. Water stains and concrete. I didn't do it for recognition. I know. But maybe they need to hear it anyway. He thinks of his daughter, of the drawing, of the world she'll inherit. Maybe silence isn't teaching her strength. Maybe it's teaching her to accept. Give me 10 minutes, Marcus says. He hangs up, starts the car, drives back to the terminal. When he enters through the automatic doors, the gate area is still crowded. Passengers waiting for rebooking. Maintenance crews. Airline staff. Captain Morrison sees him first. Crosses the space quickly. Mr. Chen, thank you for coming back. I'm not here for apologies, Captain. I know. Morrison gestures toward the gate counter. But these people deserve to know the truth. The woman in pearls stands near the window. She's crying quietly. Someone, another passenger, is pointedly ignoring her. Marcus looks at Morrison. The maintenance logs. Who authorized the delay? Regional Operations Manager. Cost Reduction Initiative. I want his name. Morrison hesitates, then nods. You'll have it. And I want a guarantee. My algorithm gets priority integration across your entire fleet. No more cost-benefit delays. That's not my decision alone. Make it your decision, Marcus says quietly. Or I go to the FAA with those maintenance logs, and the emails, and the policy documents that prove your airline prioritized profits over safety. Morrison's expression hardens, then softens. He knows Marcus is right. You'll have it. In writing. Good. Marcus looks at the crowd. Now let's talk about what happened here. Captain Morrison calls for attention. The crowd quiets gradually. Faces turn toward them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Marcus Chen, the engineer I mentioned earlier. Marcus stands beside the captain. He's not used to this. Public attention, spotlight. But he thinks of his daughter and doesn't step back. A man in the crowd speaks up. "You're the one who saved us." "I flagged a safety issue," Marcus says simply. "Did my job." "You did more than that," Morrison interjects. "Mr. Chen reported a critical structural defect on Monday. Our maintenance team delayed the repair. He was scheduled on this flight. When he was removed from the aircraft, he still left documentation that grounded the plane. The woman in pearls is visible near the window. Her hands cover her face. Another passenger, a middle-aged man in a business suit, steps forward. "I was on that plane. Seat 7C, I saw what happened to you. I didn't say anything. I should have." Silence follows, heavy, uncomfortable. "Why were you removed?" a young woman asks. "She's holding a toddler." "What happened?" Marcus looks at her, then at the woman in pearls. "Someone didn't feel comfortable with me on board." "Comfortable how?" "You'd have to ask her." Marcus's voice is calm, factual. All eyes turn to the woman. She's shaking. Someone near her steps away deliberately. Jennifer speaks up, her voice carrying across the gate. "A passenger expressed discomfort. We accommodated her request. We removed Mr. Chen from the flight." "Why would you remove him?" The young mother's voice is incredulous. "Did he do something?" "No," Jennifer says quietly. "He didn't do anything." The implication settles over the crowd. Understanding dawns on faces. Expressions shift from confusion to realization to anger. The businessman from 7C speaks again. "So let me understand this. This man, an aerospace engineer, flagged a safety issue that would have killed us all. Your airline ignored it. Then a passenger demanded his removal for no legitimate reason. And he still saved us." "Yes," Morrison says. "And if he hadn't been removed? If he'd stayed on board?" Morrison's jaw clenches. "The fracture would have gone unaddressed. We would have taken off, given the turbulence forecast and the extent of the damage." He doesn't finish. The young mother clutches her toddler tighter. Her eyes are wet. She walks toward Marcus. "Thank you. Thank you for not walking away." Others approach, handshakes, gratitude. Someone is crying. The businessman apologizes again. "I should have spoken up. I should have defended you." Marcus accepts it all with quiet dignity. "You have a chance now, all of you, to speak up next time, to not let it happen again." The woman in pearls hasn't moved. She's isolated now. A space has formed around her. No one is looking at her, but everyone is aware of her. An older woman, maybe 60, gray hair, kind eyes, breaks from the crowd. Walks directly to the woman in pearls. "You should apologize, The woman's voice breaks. "I didn't know." "You didn't need to know," the older woman says firmly. "You had no reason to feel unsafe. You just felt uncomfortable. There's a difference." The woman in pearls looks at Marcus. Their eyes meet. She walks forward slowly. The crowd parts. She stops 3 feet from him. "I'm sorry." Marcus doesn't respond immediately. He looks at her, really looks at her, sees the tears, the shame, the realization of what almost happened. "Your apology doesn't erase what you did," he says quietly. "But maybe it'll make you think twice next time." She nods. Can't speak. Turns and walks away quickly. Captain Morrison addresses the crowd again. "This airline failed today. We failed Mr. Chen. We failed all of you. That ends now. I'm personally ensuring that every safety report is treated as urgent, and I'm recommending Mr. Chen's company for fleet-wide integration." Applause begins again. Stronger this time. Marcus raises a hand. The crowd quiets. "I don't need applause. I need accountability. From airlines, from passengers, from every person who sees something wrong and stays silent." He looks around the gate area. "I have a daughter. She's 7. She thinks the world is fair. I want to believe she's right, but that only happens if people like you." He gestures to the crowd. "Decide fairness matters more than comfort." The silence is absolute, profound. Marcus picks up his briefcase. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a keynote to deliver. 3 days later, Marcus stands on stage in Seattle. The conference hall is packed. 300 aerospace professionals, industry leaders, safety regulators. His presentation is met with a standing ovation. But that's not what matters. What matters is the email waiting in his inbox when he checks his phone afterward. From the FAA. They've opened an investigation into the airline's maintenance protocols. Mandatory review of all deferred safety reports. What matters is the call from his wife. Have you seen the news? You're everywhere. The story went viral, not because of the structural failure, because of what happened at Gate 27B, video footage from passenger phones, Captain Morrison's announcement, the woman's apology. News outlets are calling it a reckoning. Social media is calling it overdue. Marcus calls it exhausting. He sits in his hotel room that evening. His daughter's drawing is pinned to the lamp beside the bed. He video calls home. His daughter's face fills the screen. "Daddy, you're famous!" He smiles. "I'm the same as always, sweetheart. But you saved people. My teacher showed us the video in class." His wife appears behind their daughter. "She's so proud of you. We both are." Marcus's throat tightens. "I just did my job." "No," his wife says firmly. "You did more than that. You showed her what integrity looks like." After they hang up, Marcus sits in the quiet hotel room. He thinks about his father, about the 40 years in hangars, the scarred hands, the belief that good work was enough. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But Marcus knows now that silence isn't enough. Not for him, not for his daughter. His phone buzzes. A message from Captain Morrison. "Your contract is approved. Full fleet integration. Priority status. You were right. This needed to happen." Another message from Jennifer. "Thank you for coming back, for not giving up on us." Marcus doesn't respond immediately. He walks to the hotel window, looks out at Seattle, rain streaking the glass, lights from buildings reflecting in puddles below. He thinks about the woman in pearls, wonders if she's changed. Probably not completely, but maybe enough. Maybe the fear of what almost happened will make her think twice. He thinks about the passengers who apologized, who admitted they should have spoken up. Maybe they will next time. Change doesn't happen all at once. It happens in moments, in choices, in people deciding that comfort is less important than fairness. Marcus opens his briefcase. Inside is a new folder. Maintenance reports from 3 other airlines. Safety issues flagged and deferred. He's been building a case. Not just for one plane, for an entire industry. Tomorrow, he'll contact the FAA again. Start the next fight. Tonight he allows himself to feel it. The weight of what could have happened. The relief of what didn't. The exhaustion of carrying truth when others won't. And the quiet certainty that he'd do it again. 2 months later, Marcus receives a package. No return address, inside a handwritten letter. "Dear Mr. Chen, I was in seat 4B on flight 447. I watched what happened to you. I didn't speak up. I've thought about that silence every day since. You saved my life, and I let them treat you like a threat. I'm sorry. I'm teaching my sons about what happened, about why silence is complicity. I hope that's a start. Thank you for being braver than the rest of us." A passenger who should have done better. Marcus pins the letter to the board in his office, next to his daughter's drawing, next to the FAA commendation, next to the photograph of his father. His team is working late tonight, analyzing data from 17 aircraft. His algorithm has been deployed across 4 major airlines now. Priority status. No more cost-benefit delays. Last week it caught another fracture. Grounded a 777 bound for Tokyo, 312 passengers. They'll never know how close they came. That's the nature of prevention. The disasters that don't happen don't make headlines. But Marcus knows, and that's enough. His daughter visits the office after school sometimes. She sits at his desk and draws, airplanes mostly. Her latest shows a plane with a shield around it. Across the top, Daddy protects everyone. She doesn't understand irony yet. Doesn't know that the people he protected almost didn't want his protection. But she understands that her father's work matters. That standing up for what's right matters. Even when it's hard. Even when it hurts. Even when you're standing alone. Marcus looks out his office window. The Boston skyline glows in the evening light. Somewhere out there, planes are taking off, landing, carrying people who trust that someone, somewhere, is keeping them safe. He is that someone. Not because anyone asked him to be. Because he decided he would be. That's the thing about integrity. It doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't require applause. It simply does what's right, even when the world isn't watching. Especially then. Marcus returns to his computer. More data to analyze. More safety reports to file. More battles to fight. His father's words echo in his mind one final time. You can't fix people, son. You can only fix machines. Maybe that's true. Maybe it isn't. But Marcus knows this. You can fix machines. You can speak truth to power. You can refuse to be silent. And maybe slowly, person by person, moment by moment, that fixes something larger too. He saved 187 lives that day at Gate 27B. But the real work, the harder work, is saving the world from itself, from its prejudices, its convenient silences, its comfortable cruelties. It's a fight that doesn't end, but it's one worth waging. Marcus Chen returns to his keyboard. The data doesn't lie. The math doesn't care about comfort or fear or bias. It only cares about truth. And truth eventually always lands.